Hello everyone, welcome to the AppDynamics training. Today we are going to discuss how do we instrument Java application agent into a Java application. Okay, so for this we are considering a Java application which is installed on a Tomcat web server. Okay, so the application name is called Supercars, Supercar Trader, which will give you the information on the cars which are available for sale and enquiries that can be made, and also an insurance web page. So it's a basic application. So with a couple of web pages, and it has a MySQL database. So we have considered these things uh, in our demo application to configure the Java agent and see how the metrics are configured, metrics are captured in the AppDynamics. Okay. And with respect to AppDynamics, I have taken a trial license. Okay. So even you can, if you want to play around with AppDynamics, you can also take the trial license. So you can log into the web page, homepage of AppDynamics, and you can give your email IDs, and you can create your own trial version. Okay. So I have taken this trial version, and I have logged into the trial version right now. So let me bring up the application, and then we will start with instrumenting the Java agent. Okay. Okay, Tomcat has started. Okay, so our application is up. So this is the demo application which we are going to use it for our training. Okay. Now, what are the ways which we can configure the Java agent? We have two ways to download the agent. One is from the Getting Started wizard that you see over here in the home page of the AppDynamics controller. Okay. Once you click the Getting Started web page, you click on the Getting Started wizard. So here it will show you all the options of the agents that you can download. So you have the application agents, different kinds of application agents with respect to the technology. You have the user experience agents, okay, and you have the database agent, and you have the analytics agent as well, okay. So, but however, we will need only the Java agent, so we will select Java, and the first option that you need to select is the what kind of JVM you are using in your application. So we are using JDK, so I'll select that. You also have this Sun or JRocket JVM and IBM legacy JVM. Okay, so you check the version, and then you can select this particular JVM option. Then you are going to give your controller details. By default, AppDynamics will take the controller which you are from where you are going to download the agent. So this will take the controller which I have opened, and it will take the SSL port, which is 443, sorry, HTTPS port, which is 443 for the SAS controller. Okay. So in case of, say, for example, there might be an environment where multiple controllers are being used, and if you want to instrument this agent to another controller, so you can provide that controller details over here. So what this will do, the controller info XML file in the agent will be updated with this controller detail. We will see how it is done in the once we download the agent. Okay. Now I have mentioned this one over here. Now what I have to do is I'll have to click on download. So since this is a trial version, the app tier node details will be taken automatically by AppDynamics in this format. So for example, node name will be taken in this format. So uh, once it detects the node, it will say, for example, in our case, we are using Tomcat. So it will take, in our case, we are using struts and servlet function. So it will take struts at the server name, the host name of our server, and then port which we are using for the application. And tier name will be by default my tier, and application name will be my app. So this is how it will be taken by default with respect to the controller. I mean the agent, if we are downloading it from here, and if we are instrumenting this one in the server directly. However, we will modify these details. Okay, this is one option. Once you click the download agent here, the agent will be automatically downloaded. Okay, all you need to update is only the, let me download this. I will show you how the controller info.xml will look like. Okay. Meanwhile, we will look at another option to download the agent. That would be logging in into the downloads.appdynamics.com. Okay. So it will use a single sign-on. So if you have logged into the controller with the same credentials, it will log into your account as well. Okay, as you see, the downloads are appearing now. You have different options to download the agent. You have, by default, it will show the Java agent. So we will use that Java for Linux itself. Okay, and for the demo version, we are using a Azure VM, Linux CentOS VM. So we will use the Linux version itself. So what you can do, you can use, click on the URL and copy the curl, and then I'll move to my AppDynamics directory. I will download the agent. Okay, so here also we are downloading the agent, and we have downloaded the agent on our desktop as well, right? Let's open that file. I will unzip the contents over here. Oh, okay. Okay, let's do one thing. I'll create another folder. So we see the file agent files are being extracted. Okay. Now we have two conf folders. We will have to update the configuration in the version folder. Okay. So this folder will give you the version of the agent. So 22 is the year, 11 is the month, and 0 means like on this month it was it was released on this month, on maybe on the first day. Now we'll go to the conf and then controller info.xml, click on edit. Okay, as you see here, the controller host has been already updated. Okay, let me open this in a browser so that you will see with the different colors. Okay, so controller host has been updated, controller port is updated, controller SSL enabled. So this has to be true for all the SaaS versions. Okay, if you are using an on-prem controller, which if you have not enabled SSL, you can mark this particular tag as false. Okay, use simple host name. You can put it as true or false, however you need for the host name. Sorry, the node name. Okay, so it will take the FQDN. Okay, application name tag is not defined as I mentioned. So since this is a SaaS version, trial SaaS version, okay, here we are not having the option to provide the app tier node names while downloading the agent. If you have purchased the license, then you will have that option. Okay. App tier name, we will update that, and then you will also see, so these options are not required right now. And you see the account name is also updated and the license account access key is also updated. So these options will not be required to be updated if you download directly from the controller. However, these details which I showed you needs to be updated manually from here. If you are downloading the agent from the downloads.appdynamics.com, which I just did directly to the server. So what you have to do in this case, you have to copy this agent file to your server. Now I have downloaded the agent directly, and then I will copy these contents to the server. Okay, and you also have one more attribute called auto naming is equal to true. Okay, so or then AppDynamics will name this particular node automatically. Okay, so I showed you the convention which will be used by AppDynamics for this particular naming. Okay, now we will go to the server. We'll see the zip file is downloaded. We will create a directory for Java agent as we did it in our desktop. Okay, I'll unzip the contents of the agent and do it quietly. -q -d, the destination I have to provide. So I am extracting the contents to the Java agent folder. ls. Okay, now go to the version folder, vi controller, sorry, yeah, vi con controller info XML. Okay, as we see, these are all empty. Controller host is not there, port is not there. So it will just give you the blank agent. What I'll do, I'll just copy the contents which we already have in our from the agent that we have downloaded from the controller, and we will use that one here so that we will save some time to update the configuration details. I think I have already opened it here. Yes, control. Sorry. Yeah, on. Okay. I will make the auto naming as false since we are going to give the app tier node over here. Okay, so application name, I will give it as supercar trader. tier name, I will give it as Tomcat. So how do you define the tier name? Based on the functionality. Okay. So I am going to instrument right now on the Tomcat server. So I will give it as right now as Tomcat. And node name, usually you can give the host name of the server, but in this case, I'll just give it as web server. Or you can give it as web server 01, web server 02 if you have multiple node names, or you can give web server underscore the host name of your server. So you can decide on based on your application architecture. Okay. So once these details are provided, you save and exit the file. Okay. So now our instrumentation part from the agent side is done. Now our next step is to make your application know that the agent is there, or how AppDynamics agent works is like once the application brings up application is started, the agent should the Java agent should also start, right? For that, what we are going to do, we are going to give the path of our APM agent in the Java as a Java argument in the application startup file. Okay, so for that, we will go to the Apache folder where we have installed the Apache Tomcat. So we will give a line, okay, which will say the Java agent is placed in this particular location. So I have placed my Java agent in OPT AppDynamics Java agent folder, right? So wherever this Java agent.jar is located, you have to specify that path as a -java argument to your application startup file. Okay. So in my case, Catalina ops will bring up the application. Okay. So I am adding the Java argument to the, I am appending the Java argument to the existing Catalina ops variable. Okay. So I am just adding it over here, this particular line, and then I'm saving it and I'm exiting it. So after this is done, you will have to restart your application. Before that, we will see how do we how do we know, or what are all the steps that has to be done if your application framework is a little is a different one other than the Tomcat which we are using. Okay, so if you go to the getting started wizard, or you can directly go to the AppDynamics documentation page, here you see the types of application server that you might have been using. Okay, so once you select this particular type, you will get a link to the instruction document. Okay. Say, for example, I am going to select a standalone JVM. So once I click on this, it will open the AppDynamics documentation, which will give you the instructions on how you are going to instrument the Java agent in your application. If you are using a standalone Java, again, it will be similar. You are going to bring up the agent along with the agent path, path to the absolute path to the Java agent.jar file, and you are going to give the class name. So in case of a hello world program that has been written, for example, so you are invoking the Java agent by passing the Java agent argument with the Java agent.jar and then the class name. So this is how you are going to invoke the Java agent in case of standalone JVM. So similarly, for all different types of frameworks, you have been provided the instructions over here and you can follow the same. So it will be similar. The only thing that you have to do is you have to identify the startup line in your application, how your application will be started. So once you identify that, you just have to pass this particular Java agent argument, okay, along with the path of the Java agent or jar. So only this thing has to be done. There will be small changes with respect to the frameworks. Okay. So in the standalone we saw, we'll have to pass the class name. In other frameworks, it might be some other option. Okay. Now we have to restart our application, right? So we will stop the application first, shut down .sh, okay, and then we will start the application again. Okay, we will see if the application has come up or not. Yes, we have the application up and running. I'm just applying some load, or I'm just doing some transactions so that that will be tracked in the Java agent. That will be tracked by Java agent. So this is important thing for you to know. In case of any APM agent that you are using, you need to have load, or you need to have traffic in your application for the agent to capture the metrics and report it to the controller. Okay. So if you don't have the traffic, then application agent will not be able to identify there is a application, the transaction. Okay. So in case of Supercard Trader is the application name that I have given, and we have created, I mean, the application is automatically created by the agent, and you also see the application changes has been done. That means we restarted the Tomcat, and there are some business transactions which are captured. There is one node which has been discovered. Okay. We will do one more thing over here. We will just apply some load using some script. Okay. I have installed Phantom.js in this VM to apply some automatic load on this application, so that we'll see the complete flow map of the application. Okay, AppDynamics lab artifacts Phantom.js. Okay, now start load. Sorry. So this will take a couple of minutes to apply the load. So what this will do, it will bring few more JVMs, and it will add the application load over there. Okay. So once the load is there on the application, you will be able to see all these metrics. So it will create a synthetic traffic, I can say. Okay, now you are seeing the flow map. We will just wait for 2 more minutes. So we will just change the time frame to last 15 minutes. Okay. So as you can see, there were 10 calls that I made and 5 calls per minute. Okay. So let's go to the business transactions. Okay, now I can see all the business transactions and also along with their details, metric details. Okay, so we have successfully instrumented the Java agent on a Tomcat web application. Okay, so how do we check? I'm sorry. How do we check the status of the Java instrumented agent in the logs? Let's look at that. CD opt AppDynamics Java agent version folder. Okay, so this is where we instrumented the Java agent, right? So we will have to look into the logs folder to see if the logs have been created or not. So by default, the logs folder, under the logs folder, the name with the name of the node, it will be all the with the name of the node, the folder will be created for under the Java in the Java agent. Okay. So, however, you might be wondering, we have provided details only for one node, that is web server, in the agent controller info.xml. However, we are seeing 4 more folders here, right? So I'll come to that. Okay, let's check whether the web server log has been, let's check the web server log so that our agent is instrumented successfully or not. How do we check that? So we will have to check the agent log. Okay, so this is our primary log to see the status of the agent. Here you will be able to see the details that you have provided in your controller info.xml. Okay, as you see the version, the path you can see over here, and if you see the controller port is provided, controller host name is provided, and account name access key will be encoded. Okay, and you see the SSL enabled is also true. So initially the agent is taking the controller info details, okay, controller details, and then it will bring up the agent as the traffic is started on the application. Okay, so if you come to the end of the file, you should see somewhere application agent started successfully, started Java agent successfully. So if you see that note, then that means your agent has started successfully. Okay, this is from the agent side or logs perspective. Okay, however, you are directly seeing the traffic already on the controller. That's why you don't have to check the logs again. Okay, so the complete load has been applied now. As you can see, you have all the business transactions that have been captured. We applied the load using script, right? So that particular load has been reflected now. So as you see, 352 calls have been made to the application. And as I mentioned, you might be wondering, we instrumented only one node, that is Tomcat. However, we are seeing 4 more nodes: insurance services, inventory services, API services, inquiry services. Okay, how did we do this, or how did this happen? Okay, what we have done in the script, right? So we invoke the start load script, right? This particular one. Okay, start load.sh. Okay, as part of this, we brought up additional JVMs, right? So as part of bringing up these JVMs, we also passed the command line arguments like this for the node name and the tier name as well. Okay, so what this means, let me give you that actual so these command line arguments were passed along with this startup line. Okay. What this will do, it will override the controller info.xml attributes. Okay. Say in our case, we had provided in the controller info.xml web server as the node name, Tomcat as the tier name, right? However, we are seeing inventory services node, insurance services node 01, right? So why is this? Because for in the additional JVMs that we brought up, what we have done, we have passed those particular node names and tier names to ensure we are giving a different node name and tier name for those JVMs. Okay, the additional JVMs that were brought up for the were for the different functionality. So they were performing the API services and inquiry services functionality, and the traffic was being made between those two components of your application. Okay, so this is why we always say to always provide a unique name combination of tier and node names for your APM agents if they are of different JVM. Okay, so in case of Java application, one agent will be required for individual JVM. Okay, now you are using one agent, but you are passing different parameters, okay, on the agent with the -d Java arguments, right? So as part of the script, I have passed different node name and tier name. Okay, that's why it has consumed 5 different licenses. As you can see here, if you go to the license tab, so it has utilized the complete 5 allocated units. Okay, we have brought up one application with 5 JVM components, okay, which are web Tomcat, insurance service, inventory service, API service, inquiry service. Let me show you how this was done, okay, by restarting the application again. Okay, you might be wondering how this happened, right? So we will go to the application startup line and we will modify the names. So this is where we updated the startup line. Okay, now if I want to override the controller info.xml properties that I have given in the agent file, I can override them as part of these arguments. Okay, let me show you that. Let me take the exact name from the website, I think. Okay, so this is the attribute that you should be passing. It is case sensitive, so be sure to use the exact cases. Okay, so I'll use this as, say, in our case, what did we provide? We have given it as Tomcat, right? I will change this to, sorry, that was here. I will change this to Apache Tomcat. And node name, instead of web server, I will give Azure VM. Okay, let's copy and paste these two arguments over here. So we will save and exit, and then we will restart our application. Shut down. Tomcat is stopped. It started. So now if there is some load on your application, these changes should be in case of tiers and nodes. I am seeing Tomcat, right? Web server. I should see Apache Tomcat. What I'm doing, I'm just doing some transactions on my applications. Okay, so that will be seen over here. It will take a minute to do the changes. I will change it to last 5 minutes. We'll apply some more load, so that would be efficient. As you can see now, we are seeing okay a new tier called Apache Tomcat and Azure VM. Okay, and as you also can observe, the app agent status on the Tomcat tier is 0%, and it has gone up to 50%. That means the load is kind of increasing on the Azure VM. So this is how you are going to instrument or pass the arguments to override the controller info.xml changes. Okay, so this is how you are going to instrument your Java agent, and you will be able to see all the business transactions, okay, on your application. We will just look at one BT or a node to see the kind of metrics that we will be obtaining, and then we will close this. Okay, so basically you will get the flow map on the flow map, which will define you the response times and the number of calls that have been made between two different components in your application. Okay, and you will see the dashboard, the whole dashboard, which will give you the normal transactions, error transactions, and slow transactions. And if there are any exceptions or error codes, even that will be shown here. And you will see the load and the response time. So this is not just for your particular tier. You will get these things in your whole application level as well. Okay, so you will get these individual dashboards for at 10 application level and also at individual tier level. Okay. Okay, and then you have, if you have instrumented your machine agent, you will get the server metrics as well in the server tab. In this case, we haven't done that, so we don't have the metrics. And so this is where you will get the important metrics with respect to your memory allocation. So heap and garbage collection metrics will be displayed over here. Okay, so you will see how the garbage collection is happening or the utilization is happening, how much time the garbage collection is taking. So that will make make you to identify if there is any memory leak which is happening. Okay, and how the utilization percentage is happening with respect to different memory pools. Okay, you have mechanisms to detect the memory leak if it is happening. So we will see that in our upcoming classes. Okay, and then you will see the JVM metrics. Okay, so all the Java line arguments that we have passed, that can be seen over here. I mean, so whatever we have configured on the controller info XML, right? So they will be passed as a Java argument itself. Okay, if we want to override in the controller info XML, we can pass it in the startup line. Okay? That will take the precedence. Okay, so these arguments, you can see it over here, and you can see the Java system, JVM system option files, options as well. So you don't have to log into your system to see all these particular metrics. Okay, even the JVM, JMX metrics can also be seen. And with respect to events, like if there are any thresholds that are breached, if you have configured any yeah, health rules. Okay, in our case, we have restarted the JVM, right? So that will be shown over here. Okay, that is also considered as an event that will be tracked in the event tab. And if you have configured any thresholds, say for example for response times or for memory consumption or memory leak detection, so those things you can configure it as a health rule, and that can also be seen over here. Okay, you can see the slow transactions which are causing slow performance to your application. You can see the error transactions. Okay, and you can see the transaction snapshots which are captured in the last 1 hour period. So basically, transaction snapshots by default will be captured every 5 minutes for any agent. Okay, we can customize that if required. Okay, so basically these are all the features that you will be seeing, and we will discuss more in detail of all the features and all the metrics in our upcoming classes. Okay, thank you for watching, and thanks for your time. Please provide please provide the feedback, and if you have any queries or comments in the comment section. Okay, thank you.